Welcome everyone to the Trailer Reaction Apocalypse, that show that I reserve for those weeks when there are so many trailers released all at once that I can't just dedicate one episode to each of them, so I've got to cram them all into one. And today, we have got 3 new trailers that I am super excited for, and one that will cause me to rant more than I have ever ranted before. But that's coming up at the end of the show. For now, let's get on with the fun. Now the first trailer that we have coming up is for the new Muppets show. I'm so excited for this one. I am a huge Muppets fan. I am. I love the Muppets. When I was a kid, they used to rerun old episodes of the Muppets show in the middle of the day on Nick Jr. And I love that show so much. I used to take my little tape recorder, ask your parents' kids, and I would put it up to the TV and hit the record button when the theme song came on just so that I could have that thing around me at all times. I loved that show. And when I heard that was coming back, I was so excited. It's like, all right, we're gonna get that old Muppet show back. This ain't the old Muppet show. Now, when I first heard about this new show, I was at work, and one of my co-workers came and said, hey, did you see that trailer for the new Muppet show? I was like, nah, I haven't. It's already premiered, that's great. And he goes, okay, it's fantastic. What it is it's like The Office. It's the Muppets, like with a handheld camera following them around, documentary style, and it's showing them behind the scenes at the show, and in their like regular life outside of the show, and it's like more adult themed, and I went, wow, that sounds horrible. That is nothing that I want out of the Muppets. And then I watched this trailer, and like 5 seconds into it, I went, oh my god, that is everything that I want out of the Muppets. This is that thing that I never knew I wanted until I saw it. This is perfect. It looks fantastic. I love this idea. It's because what was great about the Muppets was always their personalities and the way that they played off of each other and off of their guests whenever they had them on. So seeing that, but in the real world, it actually works. And I am so tired of that played out old tool of you cut away to them doing a one-on-one little interview and they deliver the punchline then. And it's like, God, that's so lazy to me. Seeing the Muppets do it is like, oh my god, it's perfect for them. That is exactly what they should be doing. The fact that Gonzo himself even brings up that concern is like, I always knew Gonzo was my spirit animal. When I was a kid, he was always my favorite, and it's like, I became you, man. That's the weirdest part of all this. My only concern with it is that at the end of the trailer, Kermit says, make my life a bacon-wrapped hell on earth. Okay, that's my one concern with this, is that I understand you're going more adult. I understand that they're dealing with adult issues on this, and it's like, they're trying to make it something that adults can relate to. That's awesome. However, don't make the Muppets curse. I know hell isn't that much of a curse word, but don't make the Muppets curse. It just feels weird, alright? That's still something from my childhood. Even if you're adapting it to be something that I can relate to as an adult, that's still something from my childhood. I don't want to see that thing cursing. And also, the Muppets have tried to come back to TV many times before, and it's never really worked. So if this one fails, you don't want to be known as the guy who had Kermit curse. That's all I'm saying, is that if you fail, you'll always be known as that guy who's like, who's the guy who thought it was a great idea to have the Muppets swearing in their show? Next up, we have a 6-minute long mini episode of Supergirl, because that wasn't a trailer, that was the entire season. Like, that's... Okay, before I begin, I have concerns with this trailer, and I have problems with this trailer, but I did like it. I know a lot of people jumped on this and said, oh, this is the worst thing ever. Yeah, I like it. I think this is good. But I do have some problems with it, and I'm just going to get those out of the way first. And the first one being, you revealed way too much in this trailer. You revealed way too much in this Supergirl trailer. The fact that at the end of it, we see that Jimmy Olsen knows her secret identity, and he's giving her the Superman cape as like a passing of the mantle. It's like, no, that needed to be like a big reveal. That needed to be a big moment. Don't put that in the trailer, alright? Because that could have been a fantastic moment in the TV show. It's gone now. And while we're speaking of Jimmy Olsen, I got a little bit of a problem with the way that they're portraying him here, because to me, Jimmy Olsen was always a nerd, he was always a dork, he was clumsy, he was, you know, kind of... He was the intern. He was the guy who was like, I'll get your coffee, Mrs. Lane. This dude is smooth. This dude is cool. When she comes in and goes, you're Jimmy Olsen. And he goes, James. And I was like, holy shit, he shouldn't be cool. Jimmy Olsen is not supposed to be cool. However, I'm getting a sense here that this is an older Jimmy Olsen that, like, you know, Superman's been around and his time is over with. Like, Superman has lived out his story arc, and this is the next generation, and in this incarnation, Jimmy Olsen, he's now mature, he's now an adult, and if you want to go that route, I'm cool with it. As long as you every now and again, make reference that he used to be kind of a nerd. That, even if you want to, like, get, like, flashbacks in there of him kind of being bumbling on his first day at the Daily Planet, but now show how far he's come, then I'm cool with it. And also, speaking of Jimmy Olsen knowing her secret identity at the end of the trailer, I also had a problem with the fact that there are only 5 named characters in this, Supergirl being one of them, and by the end of the trailer, 3 of the rest of them already know her secret identity. I don't know how I feel about that, but then, at the same time, Flash is almost done with this season, and everyone now knows who Barry Allen is. So even his villains know who he is. So yeah, what's up with DC heroes just screwing up their identities? And I gotta talk about some of the outrage that has been online. I use that in quotes because it's stupid outrage. But some of the outrage that's been online is that, oh, this seems too childish. This seems too upbeat and gimmicky. This seems like a chick flick, like a rom-com. It's Supergirl, you idiots. It's not supposed to be dark and dreary. But no, Supergirl is not edgy. She's not hard. She is upbeat. She is that spirit of youth and enthusiasm put into a character. And I think they captured that very well in this. A lot of people were looking at this and comparing to that Black Widow romantic comedy skit that they did on SNL. And here's the thing. Black Widow is a hard, jaded assassin. She is just pure grizzle in a person. So that's what made that funny. Supergirl is young and upbeat and wants to go out and seize the day. Yeah, they captured the spirit in this, but I did have a problem with it. And my problem is that I don't have a problem with the fact that they did it. My problem is that I think it just seemed too focus groupy. Like, I have no problem with you trying to capture that young, upbeat feeling, but if you make it seem like everything else out there that's also trying to capture it, then it doesn't feel original enough to me. And that was kind of my problem with that. Every single thing that we saw of her in her daily life was way too much just lifted from everything else. Like her boss, Cat Grant. Every moment with Cat Grant in there, it's not Supergirl, it's The Devil Wears Prada. Like, they are very clearly just going, make it more like The Devil Wears Prada. Like, every kind of part of her social life in here, to me, just seemed like, some old white dude in a business suit going, I know what the kids like, this is what's successful back in my day. Or to give you another example, like when she was talking to her friend and her big crisis was she had a blind date and she didn't know what to wear. That is such a cliche to me. Like, so many people have a problem with this being possibly romantic comedy. That's fine. Just don't make it cliched romantic comedy. It's like, I wish they had been a bit more original with that. However, moving away from that part of it and going into the actual superheroics part of it, every single thing in that was great. Every single time in which she is in the costume and when she's using her powers, it is fantastic. That looked fun. That looked like exactly what the show needs to be. And as I watched it, I could only think of one thing, which is, DC, what is wrong with you giving this to CBS? You know how mad Marvel fans are that Fox won't give the X-Men back and that Sony held on to Spider-Man for so long? You've got the rights to all your characters and you're still dividing them up. Because as I watched this, all I could think was, how great would it be if she could actually team up with Barry Allen? How great would it be if The Flash and Supergirl could have a crossover? But you, yourselves, actually went, no, we're just gonna move that over there. It's like, our characters don't need to interact. Yeah, that's not the big thing at the moment. So yeah, all I'm saying is, if this doesn't do well on CBS, you still own the rights to it and you can move that over to the CW anytime you want. And speaking of The Flash, we finally got that trailer for Legends of the Future. Holy cow, this was as good as I could have hoped it was going to be, because I love The Flash, and when I heard about this Legends show, I was like, if it can match that same quality as Flash, I'm in. This looks like it's going to do it. And it really does feel like an actual universe, like what Marvel did when they brought the Avengers in, and you went, okay, that is those characters from those other movies in here. That's exactly what this feels like. And I love seeing them all together. Brandon Routh, Adam, listen, I do have a problem with the fact that it is just Iron Man. We all saw what you did. That is just Iron Man that you created. But the way that Brandon Routh acts as the Adam, I love that. Like the moment there when her suit acts up while they're giving the big lecture, I was like, that is perfect. That's a character I want to read about. I know the Flash so far this season has been all about time travel, but I love that they just, without a care, just flat out go, yeah, and there's also time travelers. Yeah, here's a guy, he's in the time sphere. There you go. And he looked good to me. I really like Rip Hunter in this so far. I'm excited to read about him. Why do I keep saying read? That's how you know I'm a comic nut. Watch. I'm excited to watch him. And my other little problem with the trailer is that why do we get no introduction to Hot Girl? I mean, we get the one sentence talking about her, but everybody else gets lines, everybody else gets to be seen interacting with each other. We get like nothing from Hot Girl in this. And out of everyone, she's the one character who has not been introduced yet. Introduce her in this trailer, man! I really want to see that. Plus, I'm also really excited that this show appears to be continuing the thing that I love from The Flash the most, which is that it doesn't give a crap. Like, it does not care that someone might come in and go, oh, this show is so silly. They don't care. They're going for it. Because when they introduced Vandal Savage, I was like, Vandal Savage is an amazing villain. Yes, he is perfect to bring this whole team together. But then when he goes, we're going to have to travel through time in order to stop me, I was like, holy, you're going to actually have this whole show happen at different points in time. That's amazing. So okay, those are the 3 trailers that I'm super excited about. Muppets, really looking forward to. Supergirl, little bit generic, but still really fun, and it's got the perfect tone for that character. Legends of the Future, wanted to see more of the characters, but I am super excited, and it looks like it's gonna be great. And now, on to the 4th one. The last trailer that I'm going to talk about, the one that's got me in such a tizzy right now, is Jim and the Holograms. I know, I'm surprised too. Now before I go any further, just to warn you guys, I'm about to rant for a long period of time. And this video is already going pretty long. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this whole rant I'm about to give, and I'm gonna edit it down as short as I can make it, maybe like 3 to 4 minutes. But if you wanna hear the entire rant, I'm gonna make it uncut right there in that little box. Just click it and it'll take you right to the video. You don't have to wait, it's already set and ready to go. I'm not gonna make this a cliffhanger where you gotta hang around for another week. No, it's ready right there. So if you wanna see it, you can go ahead and click it right there. Just be warned though, you do realize you're about to click on a video of a grown-ass man complaining about Jim and the Holograms, right? Alright, just so we're all clear. But for the rest of you who just want the short version, here we go. Now, let me just start by saying I have zero connection to Jim and the Holograms. I didn't watch it as a kid. It's not some retro thing that I discovered as an adult. I have no connection to it at all. My sister watched it a little when we were kids, but I didn't pay any attention to it. So I have no personal stake in this movie. So when I watched this trailer, I was just like, yeah, alright, it just seems really bland and generic. There's nothing of any interest in this trailer. Like, this really seems by the numbers, times 1,000. Like, one of the most by the number trailers I've seen in a long time. So yeah, as I said, no connection to Jim and the Holograms, no even knowledge of Jim and the Holograms. I know nothing of the fiction or the lore behind that series. But you know what I am? I'm a geek, and proud of it. In fact, I'm Professor Geek. I'll look out for all the good little geek girls and boys out there, alright? And I might not have any knowledge of Jim and the Holograms, but you know what I do know something about? When your fandom gets totally screwed over. And so I decided to do some research. And so I went out and I read the new IDW Jim and the Holograms book, which is pretty fun. I would, hey, if you're a Jim and the Holograms fan, it seems like a perfect thing for you. And also I've got a coworker who is a huge fan of Jim and the Holograms. Like, he probably owns the Wikipedia page behind Jim and the Holograms. I started asking him questions, and my girlfriend is a huge fan. I started asking her questions. I started learning the backstory on all this, and wow, you guys got screwed over. Here's what Jim and the Holograms is all about. It's about this girl, Jerrica, and her father dies, so she becomes the owner of this giant music record industry. She's kind of like the music version of Batman. And then this evil partner of hers, Eric, is trying to take it over and push forward his own form of evil music. And so she forms her own band, but she's afraid to talk in front of everybody else. So she uses holographic technology, which she is a wizard at, and creates this computer AI system, Synergy, and it gives her the ability to change her appearance into this superstar Jim. She's the Iron Man of music as well, so she is 2 different kinds of superheroes in this already. And so it's her and her sisters trying to stop the evil music of the Misfits. That's the evil band that tries to get pushed forward. And so they're constantly rivaling against each other. And it sounds like a fun fun show, and it's super upbeat and glamorous and poppy and fun. This trailer looks so dull. Like, all color is gone from it. Here's Jim from the cartoon. Here's it in the movie. You know what they did? They Man of Steel to your franchise, Jim fans. And not to mention the Jim cartoon was all about these sisters coming together and they're fighting for good, and it's about family. It's like the Fast and the Furious. It's so many things put together into one. And it was them fighting against these evil band of the Misfits. And in this, there's no Misfits. So okay, let me put that into perspective for all you other fandoms out there. Transformer fans, you know how angry you got at how bad your movie was? Okay. Imagine now if there were no Decepticons in it. As bad as your movie was, Michael Bay at least got that part right. He put Decepticons in there. And as for that whole, oh, well, they come together as a family to overcome this. Okay, I'm sure at the end of this movie they will realize the beauty of family and they will come together. But the fact that the big crisis in this is not them trying to stop something, it's internal. The big crisis of this is, I don't know if our team can really work together. Single tear. I'm losing my family over this. Alright, again, putting this in perspective, Avengers fans. Imagine if Loki wasn't there at all in the first Avengers. And the crisis was, they just can't stop fighting amongst themselves. That's what this movie is. And the biggest part of all is that they took the hologram element out. They took synergy out of it. Like I said, the amazing thing about Jim and the Holograms is that it was like, okay, we're going to use science to make ourselves the biggest rock stars ever. They were walking laser Floyd shows, alright? This takes that out. They just now put on some really bad makeup in there. And, which by the way, speaking of that, anybody else find it weird that when she records herself in her closet, she also puts on the fake wig and the fake makeup? Is that weird? That seems kind of crazy to me. Is that something that everybody does and I'm just not aware of this? But okay, so they're taking that out of there too. So again, perspective, all you Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fans out there. Remember how mad you were at what they did to the Turtles in the last one? How mad you were that it's like, oh, they made the Turtles so big. The Turtles aren't supposed to be that tall. Okay, imagine if the problem wasn't that they were tall, more of that they weren't turtles. Imagine if that in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it was just 4 teenage ninjas, and they just put on green ski masks and shell-shaped backpacks when they went out and fought crime. Alright, that's what they're doing in this movie to the Jim fans. And as I have said, I am not a Jim and the Holograms fan, and I have no connection to it, but I am a geek. And you're all geeks too. And whenever one of us is in trouble, we all gotta band together. We all gotta come together and help out our brothers and sisters. So you know what? All you Transformer fans, all you Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fans, all you Superman fans, anyone out there who has ever seen that thing that you love and is special to you just be wrecked by people who did not understand it, you gotta come together and be nice to your new Jim sisters out there, alright? You come together and you support them in their time of need, alright? So alright, that is it for this edition of the Trailer Reaction Apocalypse. Come back next time for another batch of trailers, who knows when that will be. But I want to hear from you guys, as always, so let me know what you thought about each of these trailers down in the comments below. Thank you very much, and if you'd like to see more from me, then hit that subscribe, hit that thumb up, and share these videos all across the interwebs. I just recently hit a milestone with my subscription count, and I thank you guys for doing that. That was fantastic to see happen. So let's keep that number rising, so keep hitting that subscribe and keep sharing. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you next time.